Oh, what a world of fake. Let's start with YouTube. Great place to escape from the 9 to 5 or the 3:30 to 12:30 shift, whatever. What should we talk about? No, YouTube, I don't need a collaborator. They got these new rules on YouTube or new suggestions. What it is going to be more artificialness, more AI botness. It's all about how they can get bigger and use us more for their own money. But YouTube was supposed to be about our own personal platform. Good, the last drop. Yeah, use up the last drop of humanness in us. What should we talk about? I used to rush to a night shift job for many years. It, Cindy might remember if she's watching, if she still watches. The Fun House. Remember the Fun House? Take a guess at where I used to work and what I used to do. Anybody know? Anyway, I ran machinery, which I never thought I'd do in my earlier years. I never thought I'd be running machinery. And it was very hot in there. And it was a rush to get to work on time because that time in the afternoon, the school buses were everywhere I needed to go to get through. What a crazy place. It was 98 to 102 degrees in there. Can you guess what it is? I worked with Teflon. I made tubing and I coated Teflon onto wire for specific companies, made for many things, even car oxygen sensors, but many other things, dangerous things. It was a dangerous place to work too because we were rushed. And there was a sign as soon as we came in, the final CEO guy. Well, he was like the servant to the CEO. He was like one notch below. He was a real ass kisser. His name was Josh. Hi, Josh. I know you're not watching. Yes, he shortly got married before the time of when he was making all that money because of his promotions. Got married. I don't know if he still is now. I hope you got what you deserve, though, Josh. Getting married and who knows, maybe a divorce. Yes, he worked us extremely. He had no idea what we were doing, but he was going to tell us how to do it. And that's how all the CEOs were there. The CEOs were so bad, they fired themselves. How ridiculous. And I predicted this in a video. I said the CEOs will fire themselves, and they did. Yes, I ran tubing. No, it's just not that easy. You don't understand. The tooling we used was old. The pulleys were old. The spool rollers, the furnaces were old. Everything was out of whack. And they kept buying cheaper and cheaper stuff from China. Yes, yes. China, they ship things to Ukraine, some of the other places, but they tried to keep getting more sophisticated through efficiency experts. when they should have just simplified everything and put them on spools. No, they had to make something called a barrel pack, a drum pack. This thing would have all kinds of problems and cause all kinds of scrap, and the material would end up having to be re-inspected 3 times due to all the damage from the old tubing and especially the Teflon. The Teflon got during the time shortly after the tsunami in Japan. Got Teflon from Japan also. It had stones in it that tore up our metal tips, even our metal tips. We had other type of Teflon tips too. And it would tear them up in mid-round. And when this stuff breaks, people, you go out of your mind because you're running 2 machines. Not only 2 machines. You don't understand. It's not pushing a button. You got to watch the whole line. And it could get caught anywhere along the line because they had fancy gadgets for measuring, doing the bubble tests to make sure there were no air leaks in the material that was full of crap that was going to leak because they wanted lower prices. They wanted to buy lower prices. So the bubble detectors would go off all night. The bubble detectors would squeeze the tubing and it would break between there. Then you'd have to run and jump and hit all the buttons to stop. Meanwhile, if you could back it up in the oven with the gigantic 1100-degree wheels and open the oven and quick put your gloves on, back it up, put it in reverse without it breaking, but it would usually break. And you'd have to redo the whole system from upstairs. You might get 6 or 7 breaks a night while it breaks your mind and your emotions. At the same time, you got to be watching the other machine. Well, they had us running both machines because of new CEOs and efficiency experts at double speed that the older guys that were now retired. Double speed. Instead of running the machine at 65 to 70, now we're running them at 125, 130. So you had no chance of salvaging a break, which was happening every night now. Then the computers on top of that would malfunction every night. Well, you just call the quality guy. And in the meantime, you're in the midst of fixing something and you have to kick out the second machine. Well, this machine only lasts for 18-minute runs. How are you going to do this? Oh, at the meetings they say, you got to get your timing. You got to get your timing. There was no time to have timing, you idiot, Josh. And all you other idiot CEOs coming down in your suits. How's it going, Dave? You have no idea. And then you have to pressure plate something. You know what it means to pressure something when it doesn't even fit right? You'd throw your shoulders out trying to put the thing in there. Quick, clamp it with one finger. Okay. Go in there when your shoulder's out or your rotator's all messed up. It never gets better. Idiots. So then, after the line breaks, you got to go upstairs and you got to use your safety gloves that were real thick rubber. You go all the way up onto the 4th floor. No joke. It's 102, 103 degrees up there in the summertime, especially because it's the roof area. So the wheel goes over a big hot oven wheel. You open the metal doors. Boom, and oh, wait a minute. You climbed up on a ladder with old metal framing to get up there. Dangerous. And then you open the metal doors while you're standing on a ladder. And poof, the hot air hits you in the face and neck. And your hair. And sometimes we would sizzle our hair in the front. That's not how I got like this. But it could be. It could be. And then there'd be a little wire hooked onto a roller. That was the best they could do. You put your wire here. It's on a roller. And then you got to tap. Oh, you got to have your pins. Who took my pins? Oh, I used them on the last shift. Ah. There's only one here. I got to go run down and ask Al if he has another one. Ah, no. Maybe they're in my box. All this kind of crap. So anyway, you put the metal gloves, the rubber, thick rubber gloves. You can hardly move your fingers now. And you get this delicate metal wire you get attached through the hole in the pin, Teflon pin. And tie a twist knot real quick. Roll it down. Roll it. It's on the pin. Roll it down 3 stories down in there until you hear it hit the bottom. Oh, damn, it got stuck in there. And sometimes it would get stuck in the oven. It's called the oven. It's only about that big. And then the hole you got to drop it through inside is like that big. And sometimes you get it to jiggle it and drop it. Okay, good. It went through that time. Yeah, that'll be a thumbnail, that scared face. And then you get to tie it off, cut it with your scissors, metal scissors, with your hard rubber gloves. Tie it off to the edge there. Don't let it fall off that thing. Get drop that down the other oven wheel, because it goes around the wheel and drops down the other side to reach the big oven down where you work at. It's huge. And then you cut that carefully while you're up on this ladder, balancing yourself. Quick, take this here. And you already made a loop in that one. Okay, so that's a little easier. And you're all shaky because you're weak from working 12 hours to your 12-hour shifts. You lost your mind because all the math they made you do on paper. Oh, but now they have computers now, so you don't have to do that. But the computers all broke when you hit the wrong button, and they malfunction every night, and you got to call the quality shit guy who's out smoking. John, Big John, who watches porn in the office in the air conditioning while you're working your ass off. Yeah. If you watch this, you know what I'm talking about. Waste. Curtis, don't hurt us, Curtis. End up being my supervisor. Curtis, please don't hurt us. All right, so then you twist that on there and drop that down. And you feel good at the bottom. And then you get your tie off. They're tied at the top over this. You got to put it over the wheel. Damn, it slipped behind it onto the shaft. It's your rubber gloves lifting off to the shaft. I feel the pin. Okay, I feel the pin down there. You can feel it. All right, it's down there. All right, put it over the wheel. Okay, just reach it. Over there, in the groove. Downstairs. Oh, down the ladder, backwards. Down the steps. Then the metal steps in between. You get all the way down there. And the boss is there. What happened? It broke. Did you have the tip too far? It broke, man. It's shit material. Oh, your other machine just kicked out. I got it for you. Thanks, Tom. Thanks. I'm glad you were able to get it, or I'd have 2 breaks. And I heard the beeper, and I was here in the area and came over. Thanks, Tom. Yeah. Josh wouldn't, because he never learned how to run the machines, even though he challenged us at the meeting. Yeah, I could learn the machines. Oh, okay, I'll take that on. I'll learn them in 2 weeks. Never learned them. Josh, told us not to lean on paint the day he was leaning on it after we repainted everything. Guess who leaned on the paint? Josh. So then you go down there. Okay, now I got to re-rig the oven wheels down the bottom. If I didn't do them first. Sometimes you could, let me just get this out of the way. I'll wrap the wheels down here first before I go up. And then you tie it off to the edge of the thing there. Now your oven has to be hot. Who's at my door? I got the mailman. I'm expecting something. Hold on. See who's at the door here. Oh, sir, would you like to know where you're going when you die? I don't know. Damn, 8th Day Independent Fundamental Baptists. Jeez. Dang, preachers at the door. I was a preacher too at one time. I was a street preacher, door to door. Soul winning, evangelism, explosion. That's another topic. Back to work. Yeah. what a miserable place to have to run to every day. So this Josh guy, trying to make himself look so good to all the establishment people there, CEO types. He had a safety thing in bright lights put in as soon as we came into the workplace. It says 457 days of no reported accidents in this workplace. In the meantime, people were hiding their injuries. You stupid idiot, Josh. How cruel. You were afraid to drop anything in that place with the most minorest cut because you were supposed to report every little thing. You cruel idiot. I hope your marriage failed and she got all your money. So the CEOs end up firing themselves. Pretty much Josh took over somehow. And he was kissing that big, gigantic blonde woman's ass. And it was big, too. It was a big ass. Yeah. She looked like a blonde, to me, a blonde Wonder Woman. What was the one that we got famous for growing up? Lynda Carter. She looked like a blonde Lynda Carter. That was just pumped up three times her size. I mean, everywhere. That's what she looked like. So yeah, so Josh, he took care of whatever she said and made himself look good at our expense. Even though you bought us hoagies whenever you had those talks with us, Josh. We're gonna buy hoagies today, and then he wanted to. We're gonna have a softball game on Saturday. We're too tired, Josh. We're too tired to play softball with you and your family and whoever you're gonna bring, Josh. No. We're not gonna play softball on Saturdays. We're all worn out from these tubing breaking and running upstairs, fixing the wires in 102 plus conditions. Oh yeah, and it was so hot in there, and everything was cooled in water tanks when they came down, including the bubble testers. But first, they're cooled in the main water tanks. So these water tanks would get mosquitoes in them and grow mosquitoes. Unless they were boiling, because by the end of the night, they were boiling water. So if the line breaks, you got to go in there, and the water's like, you could cook broccoli and stuff in there. One guy, this is no joke, he died a few weeks before he died. And we were eating, we'd eat our food so fast. This guy spilled broccoli in the water trough that cools the tubing. This is not meant to be a joke. He died, and a few weeks later, his broccoli was still, when he was eating, rushing around, was still in the water tank. And I was like, man, he's dead, but his broccoli is still there. He had problems, but that's a shame. But yeah, you had to rush to work in those conditions. And then we got one of the new CEOs was he wasn't even anything of mechanical. He was a wrestling coach. And he said, I don't know where he got him from, but he got his vacation time right away and bragged about he could just buy another truck and this and that. He'd always be able to get to work in the snow. Yeah, but you can take vacations and off time anytime you want to. He came in and he's tutoring us now. And all these guys were like, and the other big guy, John, he was bragging about how he goes ice fishing up at the so-and-so and drinks the best whiskey. Yeah, Big John, he's like a giant refrigerator in a suit. He was the nicest guy. He was the first new CEO. He's nice, but he didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't know what we were about. He was a cheerleader for a football team, and we were his football team. That's what John was. He was our cheerleader. A big refrigerator, suit-wearing cheerleader. So he was a nice guy. He liked my poetry too. He even wrote it down. He had it sent back to me on Look, I copied it for you. Save it. Keep going. Keep going, Dave, with those poems. So anyway, the vice president who he went to college with ended up having him fired. He took him out. His buddy from college took him out. And new CEOs. And then they gave us a CEO. Oh, what was he called? He was the plant supervisor. They got him from Australia. Or was it New Zealand? I don't know. But he liked the safety glasses. I like the safety glasses. Do you like? I like my. Yeah, I saw them, buddy. I saw your safety glasses. How much are they paying you? Idiot from Australia or New Zealand. I don't know. What he supplied me with good safety glasses. Oi, 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 oi. That'll be a good thumbnail, won't it? Won't it, YouTube? So anyway, yeah, we had to eat so fast there. When we went to the bathroom down across the room, up the hallway, I had to run to the bathroom because there was no time. By the time you get back, something would be broken. Remember, old tubing. Old tooling. Oh, that you had to find and wasn't there. Oh, the tips are all used up. You'll have to call, what's his name? The really big head and glasses and mustache. He looked like Mr. Potato Head. I'm serious. What was his name? I forget. Anyway, I don't have time for that. But he was supposed to make sure all the tips went there, and they weren't. So then you got to call your boss. And he, well, why didn't you check earlier? Because I was fixing all these damn things. I don't come in and just say I'm starting my day by checking the tips in the cabinet that's way over so-and-so, and it's locked now. Why don't you just start the machines? You could. Yeah, right. The story keeps changing. No matter what you did, it was wrong. So anyway, when COVID hit, that's a whole nother story. You learn a lot about the idiocy of the great TP hoarding event when you work for a place that makes you wear masks. And in reality, it's so hot in there, nobody wore them right. And in reality, nobody was sick for a year and a half. Common cold went away. People were wearing the masks on their ears and down here because it was so hot. And you just couldn't work because you had to wear safety glasses over glasses and they would steam up. There's no way you could wear a mask properly. So you pretended. So the death virus never got us anyway. We were essential workers. Lord was looking out for the essential workers, I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, pressure plating, barrel packs messing up, going over the drum. Let me tell you a little poem, and then I'm going to get out of here. And we'll tell you, anybody interested in running tubing and wire, let's talk about Tom. Tom's a super boss. He never stops. Looks after us like he's the cops. When you load the machine, he's looking real mean, checking the graph on the computer screen. With a white glove finger, he swipes the floor, says, "This is no good. You got to sweep it some more." He gives us barrels and skids and the proper tooling. Don't mess with him, 'cause he ain't fooling. Get off your butts, you lazy pricks. No sitting down until you cut your sticks. Don't make sure that wire is going in the bucket. Don't be that guy that just says, chuck it. Well, the wire wasn't going in the bucket because it kept malfunctioning. We told you, get rid of the bucket. Just put it on spools like we always did, fools. That's the reality of the workplace in the world of the one-eyed farmers. Fools.